Welcome back in. This is the HQ report, and we have our tonight's top stories. So tonight we're not just talking about three separate stories, right? We're talking about three moments that expose something very deep within this country and something very fundamentally wrong with what's happening here. You got a political commentator, what's his name, Scott Jenkins, getting called out online in a way that raises real questions about the hypocrisy, but also shows how ugly things get when personal lives become weapons. Then we got a former Houston officer, Ashley Gonzalez, I get caught on tape saying things that don't just cross the line, they erase the line completely, forcing a real conversation about who should ever be trusted with authority or trusted with a police job. And then you got the redistricting fight in Virginia, where lawmakers voted to redraw the map, but a judge stepped in and stopped it, shifting the blame from politics to the courts, where the outcome could shape elections before voters even have a time to step into the booth. We have three different stories, but they're all pointing the same thing: power and how it's used, accountability when it shows up, and what happens when both start to break down in real time. Let's get it, you.
Developments this afternoon. A Republican-appointed judge in Virginia has just minutes ago struck down last night's Virginia election results, saying that it was unconstitutional from the get-go, referring to the redistricting amendment that Democrats put forward. I've said it from the beginning that this is going to go to a court battle and ultimately will be decided by the Virginia Supreme Court whether or not the redistricting amendment was constitutional or unconstitutional. Well, right now, it is on hold.
So, plain and direct. The vote to redraw the maps has already happened. That part is done. But the judge stepping in, Republican judge that stepped in, means the new maps are on hold right now, and they cannot be used. Democrats anticipated this, so I'm pretty sure by the end of this week is going to be another lawsuit already filed by the Democrats, which means the fight has moved out of the legislature and into the courts. From this day forward, I guess politicians aren't about to decide any of this. It's going to be a judge. Donald Trump called the Virginia judge, and this is what the results are. What happens next is pretty fast. The court is going to hold emergency hearings. Both sides will come in and argue about it, argue what the map is and what the map represents. And Republicans will argue the redraw is illegal. Democrats will argue it's unfair. Democrats will argue that it's fair, and the Republicans will argue that it's unfair. And then the judge has to make a decision quickly. This is a regular judge, so now it'll be going to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court. Wow. So all of this to overturn the will of the people. Okay. First, the judge keeps the block in place. And if that happens, the old map stays. But since this is going to court pretty quickly, and all of our legal team, most of the Democratic legal team around the country have been pretty fast in responding to these kind of cases. Okay. To Donald Trump's cases. Most courts have been pretty quick. Second, the new map won't. The Supreme Court might let the map go through 9 times out of 10 because it was legal and above board, and they let the people make the judgment about the map. They put it on a docket. They put it on the voting referendum, and it went through. More than likely, this redistricting map is going to hold up. It just has to go to the Supreme Court. It just is what it is. I guess other states may have just done it. I don't know. I think Texas did it and somebody sued against them. It's going to probably be the same thing as what happened in California because we put it on the ballot. They didn't put it on the ballot in the Republican states. The Democrats put it on the ballot in their states. So now they're mad because Democrats are playing their game. It's y'all's game. It's your Republicans' game. We win in the game. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. Don't be mad. You started this, so it is what it is. So they're going to let it go through. It's now up to the Supreme Court. Regular court stopped it. Supreme Court, they're going to be suing. They're going to file the lawsuits tomorrow or Thursday or Friday. And we got it going to the court. So that's one of the top stories today. The Virginia redistricting got redid. Story number 2. My goodness, what's going on with you people? You guys remember Scott Jennings, right? Scott Jennings is the guy who's on the Republican. He's a Republican shrill, and he's always on Abby Phillips, okay, and he's always touting the Donald Trump line. Well, somebody called him out on YouTube, or what is it, Twitter? Somebody called him out on Twitter today or yesterday, saying you're pretending to be a Republican X, Y, and Z, talking about trans and talking about gay, and you're actually trans and you're actually gay. These are the tweets. The person has facts. The person has receipts, like for real receipts on this Scott Jennings. Let me show a picture of Scott Jennings. This is Scott Jennings. This is Scott. Let me get him up on the camera. Let me get you up on the camera, my friend. This is Scott Jennings. Just in case you guys didn't know who he was. Hold on. Because a lot of people don't know who he is, so I'm just going to put him on the screen. This is Scott. Right here. Boom, boom, boom. He's always on the TV screen, screaming about gay and trans and touting the Republican line. And he's one of the main characters that is behind the scenes, doing obviously things that the Republicans are railing against, being gay, doing the thing, all of that. So unfortunately, the guy has receipts. The person that called him out has receipts. And so Scott Jennings has to answer to those receipts, or maybe he's going to ignore it. I don't know whether he's going to ignore it or not. It looked like he had details. This person has details that you can't get away from. Okay? Here's the details. I'm going to let him sit on the screen and play. What is the screen? What does one of these say? Let me see. What does one say? The first one. Let me call it. Let me look at it. It says Scott Jennings. It says, Scott, you may not remember me from my Broadway performing days in New York, but you're being a complete lying asshole. So here it is. Scott Jennings swings both ways. He likes men and women. Not that I care. Who gives a shit? But he's lied about this since 2009. And there are at least 100 photos of him at Fire Island bars from back in the day. Ask him about this on CNN next time, Adam Mockler. Then the rest of the tweets are, remember when you sued to go to Jack Rose Steakhouse and drink 6 martinis every night? Remember when you stumbled out of a trailer at 4 a.m. with a guy named Richie? Jeez. Remember when you hung out at the playwright and tried to take home the dancers? This person has receipts on Scott Jennings. Scott Jennings, you got to do what you got to do, sir, because they calling you out as gay. So I'm giving people a warning about this next video. I'm giving you a warning about this next video. Okay? This next video was like horrific. Just horrific.
Times that I will always and forever say that I fucking hate niggers. Oh my god, I fucking hate chimps. Like, I hate y'all. Like, I don't fucking, oh, we were slaves, isn't that? I don't give a fuck, nigga. Like, for a fucking reason, you guys were fucking slaves. You guys don't know anything better than to fucking steal. Like, oh my fucking god, nigga. nigga. Like, I was literally eating fucking food with my friend. He had his, oh my god, like, I don't know, por Dios, por gracias de fucking Dios, I had my fucking wallet next to me, like, my whole purse, and those fucking, like, that literal fucking small-ass chimp decided not to fucking steal my fucking wallet, nigga. Oh my god, nigga, I would've grabbed my heel and, like, whooped the fuck out of that nigga's ass, but, like, whatever, right? Some other but no homo or nothing. Y'all don't know how good it felt to say like out loud. Like goddamn nigga. Like oh my god. I felt like I was back in the Marine Corps, nigga. Like I kid you not. I don't know what the fuck came over me. I grabbed that nigga by the neck and I was like, come here you fucking nigger, and oh my god, like I felt like the world just stopped. Like it was just peace. Like I don't know. And then he was just like even I in my head I was like, damn bitch, te pasaste, because I called him a fucking nigger, dog. Like imagine.
So this is where the young lady who is a cop.
I want to know if you've ever had an encounter with this HPD officer who posted a racist rant against black people on social media. Maria Aguilera is live at HPD.
Here we go.
Tonight with the investigation that is underway right now, Maria.
Yeah, Mia, that officer, technically still employed, has been relieved of duty, and now a well-known local activist is urging anyone who had an encounter with the officer to come forward as her team looks into possible legal action. A viral video prompting calls for accountability.
The amount of times that I will always and forever say that I hate.
Houston police say it appears to show one of their own officers, Ashley Gonzalez, going on a racist rant.
It's just unacceptable.
Community activist Dr. Candace Matthews says her team first received it and she's pushing for action.
She could possibly go to another policing agency, so that's why we're following this. And this is why I'm going for her T-code certification, because we cannot have someone that's representing public trust with those type of ideologies.
She's also urging anyone who's had contact with Gonzalez to come forward as her team looks into possible civil rights violations.
What does that mean for them in their cases?
Well, that's what we're on, and that's why I want, the legal representation. That's why I want to have the legal resources to be able to help them navigate through that process.
That's a sick mindset.
The president of the Houston chapter.
Well, that's her problem. We can dance around it all day and call it exactly what it is. This is not a bad moment. This is not something taken out of context. This is not just words. This is disqualifying. It's disqualifying on all different types of levels, because when you listen to what this former Houston officer reported, is Ashley Gonzalez, I guess, actually said, you're not hearing frustration. You're not hearing anger in the heat of the moment. You're hearing comfort. You're hearing pride. You're hearing somebody casually, repeatedly using one of the most loaded racial slurs, and her using the word nigger ain't even the bad part. She's talking about actually putting her hands on another human being as a officer. That's not a mistake. That's a mindset. The mindset has no place anywhere near a badge or teacher or firefighter or anything like that. Policing is authority. Policing is discretion. Policing is power. And an officer decides who gets stopped, who force is used against, how situations escalate or de-escalate. So if you got someone walking around with that level of authority, and at the same time they're expressing open hatred, dehumanization, and even enjoyment tied to violence against a specific group, you don't have a training issue. You have a dangerous individual on the street. And this is where people try to water that shit down. They say, well, she took diversity training. They say she served in the military. They say she young and made a mistake. No, bro. You don't accidentally say these kind of things. You don't accidentally repeat these kind of things. You don't accidentally describe violence with satisfaction. There's a mentally unhinged quality about the girl. That's not slipping. That reveals what was already there. And she said, as soon as she felt she had a calm come over here, you're mentally ill. It's on some level, you're mentally ill because you enjoy the pain and suffering that you inflicted. That means a person is mentally ill. And she shouldn't be anywhere near a gun or any kind of authority over anybody. And that's the part people got to sit with. I don't care whether you call me the N-word or not. I don't care, because that doesn't define me. But I care about the fact that you had joy or you took pleasure in dehumanizing other human beings. Because now every single interaction she's ever had has to come into play. And here's the part that really people got to sit with. If she is admitting that she enjoyed this and she did this, what is she not saying that she did do before? What is she not revealing before she got caught? I don't know what she do in a dark alley. I don't know what she do or say to another human being when the cameras ain't rolling. This was the camera rolling, and she took her opportunity to say whatever God put in her head. But what did she do when the camera wasn't rolling? Every arrest that she has been involved with has to come into question. Every stop, every arrest, every use of force, because policing without trust work. And this is one of the reasons, that woman right there is one of the reasons why Black people don't trust cops. Because we feel like a lot of y'all have that attitude. A lot of y'all have that. We think a lot of y'all have that attitude. And that's why lots of Black people don't trust cops, because we think y'all have that attitude. A person like that cannot serve people that you clearly see as less than you. And that trust is broken yet again between the Hispanic community and the Black community and the police community and the blue and Black community. Okay. Once that trust is broken, it's almost irreparable. You don't fix this with we're deeply disturbed. We don't tolerate this. The investigation is ongoing. No, this is where accountability has to be immediate, clear, and decisive. Because if it's not, then what you're telling the public is, as long as you say the right thing after you get caught, you might still get to keep your badge. And that's unacceptable. Now you got to deal with the second part, the idea that she should lose the ability to work in public service altogether. Some people hear that and say, that's going too far. No, it's not going too far. If you understand what public service requires. Public service is not just a job. It's a position of trust. Whether you're a police officer, a teacher, a city worker, your role is to serve the public equally. All of the public. So if you've demonstrated clearly, repeatedly, if you have demonstrated clearly and repeatedly that you cannot see a portion of the public without bias, without hostility, without dehumanization, then you are not qualified to serve in the public sphere. You're not qualified to serve in a public position. Period. This is not punishment. This is protection of the public, protection for the public, protection for the integrity of the institution, because the damage does not stop with her. It spreads. Now, every officer is going to get looked at differently. Every Hispanic female officer going to be looked at crazy. Now, every interaction is questioned. Now, every statement from that department and any other department feels like y'all just talking. Y'all just blowing smoke. That's the cost of letting something like this slide. Why didn't nobody know that this girl had this kind, that she took joy in hurting Black people? And let me be real clear about something. This ain't about her being Hispanic. This ain't about Black versus Hispanic. This is about the conduct. This is about her character. And this is about whether someone with power has shown that they can be trusted to use it fairly. And in this case, the answer is hell no. So no, this is not a suspended situation. This is not a let's see how the investigation goes situation. This is a line. And when she crossed it at that level with that kind of language, that kind of pride, and that kind of connection to violence, you don't step back into the public trust. You don't step back into a public role. You don't let her get no job in the public. You throw her ass out. You banish her to the motherfucking winds for good. Because if you don't draw the line there, then you don't have a line at all. And that's wild that she would say it in public. But equally wild was her friend the one who put this video online. Just goofy. You never know who's going to reveal what you are. But if you were her friend, why didn't you tell your friend that you wrong about black people? Why didn't you do that? Instead of putting her on blast, why didn't you tell your friend that she had some kind of mental illness and she needed some help? Why didn't you tell your friend? This is what I don't understand. You didn't tell your friend that she was mentally unstable. But it is what it is, and the top stories are the redistricting in Virginia, Scott Jennings on Abby's show getting called out as being bisexual, because I think it's bisexual. It's what you call bisexual. And this young Gonzalez child crashing and burning her whole life in 4K. That's wild. Y'all leave comments in the comment section. I'll see y'all in the next one tomorrow night.